Oh, there we go. Two more people came in the room. Okay. All right. Here we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Dr. Michelle Green. Thank you all for joining me this evening. It is Thursday, April 30th, the last day of the Spring Reset and Detox Month, which is what I was calling all of April before we move on into May, Women's Health Month. Okay. But I'm talking about all things health every day, all day, right? So, but our topic tonight is about how to reset your body and get that process started in just 72 hours and what cholesterol, hormones, and detox have to do with it. Okay. Because guess what? Your cholesterol is not the problem, despite what they might have told you. We're going to talk about what's actually causing it. Okay. And as always, like I said, I will answer questions at the end of tonight's session. All right. Now, I have this tailored, of course, and it's for men and women, but I have women on here because it's going to be primarily women on here. But don't worry, it pertains to men and women too, okay? So first and foremost, most women and men for that matter, right, are told simple things like what we think is simple anyway. Lower your cholesterol. It's too high, right? Your total cholesterol is too high. Let's get it down. Your LDL is too high. Let's get it down. Okay. They told you to avoid fats, right? Don't eat red meat. Be scared of it. No, I'm gonna tell you better tonight. All right. Take the medication if needed. I'm gonna help you get off of the medication. Okay, if you are on it. All right. But these are things that we're told when it comes to cholesterol because everybody's scared of cholesterol. High cholesterol can increase your risk of certain things, but if it's the right or wrong cholesterol, right? Um, so we're gonna talk about that. Making small changes can lead to a huge benefit in your life. And I'm admitting folks as we continue on here. Sorry about that. All right. So, mute that. Sorry about that. The screen is in my way. Okay. All right. So, before we lower your cholesterol, I'm going to tell you the truth about it. All right. What you're not being told because cholesterol is essential. It's the key to balancing everything that has to do with your hormones, number one. Okay. Making sure that you have good, healthy hormones. You need cholesterol for that. Okay. Cholesterol is the foundation for estrogen, progesterone, and cortisol. We need all three of those in the right balance, and you need cholesterol for that. So, having more cholesterol isn't the problem. The real issue is about imbalance, right? Inflammation, stress, nutrient deficiencies. These are the things that are actually causing your cholesterol numbers to go up, and we're going to dig into that, all right? So, lowering your cholesterol is not always the answer because if you have the cholesterol that's too low, that leads to lots of different things that are not good for you. Number one being fatigue, but number two, brain fog. And because guess what? Your brain is made of cholesterol. So you begin to forget things, right? But it's because you lowered your cholesterol too low. Your brain needs cholesterol. Okay. And guess what else? Hormone imbalances and lots of other things too. So what we're going to talk about is getting to the root cause of these issues, all right? And how to support your body, how to nourish your cells and restore balance naturally, okay? Because we're going to focus on why your numbers are high, but also what your body truly needs so you can feel better and actually have right future health, not just current, but future health. I want you to have longevity. I want you to be around for your grandkids and your great great grandkids with quality of life, though. Okay. So now, how it shows up in the body. There's lots of different ways where cholesterol being out of balance will show up. Okay. Your body's talking to you all the time, but it's a matter of whether or not you're listening to it, but also whether or not you know what it's really saying, how to decipher it. So when you have that last 10 pounds that just won't move, that stubborn weight, we call it, okay, hard to lose, especially around the midsection, because guess what? Your liver makes cholesterol. 80% of your liver is made by your own body. God designed us that way. So you need it for a reason, right? We're going to talk about that too. But that's why when you do have excess cholesterol, it's literally because your liver begins to spill it out into your abdominal cavity. So you actually have weight in your midsection because your liver is spilling out excess cholesterol. Okay. So that's what that stubborn weight really is. It's not weight from eating too much. Sometimes it is, but it's also because your body's struggling with cholesterol balance. Okay. Low libido. This is one that's not talked about often. But as women, this is one of the things that I talk about it all the time in my sessions, but it's one of those things that we don't bring up because you're embarrassed by it, but it's really normal now, unfortunately, and it's not a normal thing. But it's normal for women to think that having a low libido is normal, and it is not. I'm here to tell you that, okay? You're not designed that way at all. Hormonal imbalances affect your desire and intimacy because they're not working properly, okay? And then fatigue, constant tiredness even after you've gotten what you thought was a full night's sleep, but you didn't rest. Okay. You were laid out in the bed in a really light sleep, but you didn't get any healing done. Okay. You're constantly tired. You wake up, you're tired. You're taking naps during the day, and you never did that before, right? You go to bed, you're tired. It's just a constant thing. But that's cholesterol. One of the things is cholesterol imbalance, all right? Then I mentioned brain fog. So you have trouble focusing. You start to not remember things, simple things like where are my keys, right? Feeling mentally clear is one of those things where you used to be able to do all the time, and now things are not as clear as they used to be. That's brain fog, okay? But it's because, like I said, your brain is made of what? Cholesterol. So if you don't have the right type of cholesterol in the right balances, your brain begins to suffer. And if you're on cholesterol medication, I'm going to talk very specifically about that. That's also impacting your brain. Okay. And then it also shows up as poor sleep. So you wake up during the night or you're feeling unrested in the morning. I'm going to pause right here because this is one of those huge body signals that I talk about all the time when I do consultations. All right. So when we sleep at night, that's when we do what? We rest, we heal. Okay. That is when you do your detoxification process. And guess what? Like I said, your liver is what makes cholesterol. So at night, your liver hours, if you've been on any of my sessions, you know what those hours are. The gallbladder is 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. Okay. That works first before the liver. You need both of these organs for healthy cholesterol. Okay. Your gallbladder's first between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. That means you need to be where? In the bed before 11 p.m. All right. 1 a.m. to 3 a.m., those are your liver hours. That is when your liver literally is detoxifying and guess what? Recycling cholesterol. That's where it happens, okay? But if you are not asleep during those hours, that process does not happen. And guess what else? If you are asleep during those hours, but that is when you consistently wake up at night, that is your body telling you, I have an issue with my liver. That is your body telling you, I have an issue with my cholesterol. Okay. So you have to think about these things when you wake up in the middle of the night. This is why I talk about sleep so often. And when you wake up, what hours is it that you're waking up consistently? Okay. Because these are signs that your body is signaling you. It's telling you when things are out of balance. Don't ignore these things. Okay. This is what root cause is all about. Okay. So not just saying something happened and, oh, I couldn't explain it, but I'm gonna just keep on moving forward. My doctor doesn't know what's going on. They said all my labs are normal, right? We get that all the time, right? I'm here to tell you it's not in your labs, okay? But these are not just inconveniences, they are clues. Your body literally is talking to you. But there's good news. I'm here to share with you, right, that you can take control. You can start feeling like yourself again, okay? Because we can correct these things. It's not too late, okay? So now I talked about your hormones. And you need what for what hormones? Cholesterol. It is the foundation for your cholesterol. And again, not just women, but also men. Okay. It's how you regulate your body, literally. Estrogen, right? That's what women need mostly for supporting female reproduction, healthy female reproduction. Okay. Your mood, your bone strength. So, this is why as women get older and they do get close to the menopause, right? They begin to get osteoporosis, they can begin to have breakdown. Their structure begins to change because their bone strength isn't there anymore because their estrogen levels start to drop. Okay. You can balance these things out so your body isn't impacted though. When you do hit menopause, you shouldn't even know it, right? There should be no symptoms, right? Progesterone is what actually helps support your monthly cycle. Okay. Pregnancy, of course, calming effects. Women that are anxious all the time, high anxiety, right? They have really imbalanced progesterone. Yes, I can spot that, unfortunately. Okay. But this is one of those things where it's a hormonal imbalance. And then cortisol. Some of us have already heard of cortisol, right? That's the stress hormone. When you are running from a tiger in the middle of the street, that's what spikes your cortisol, all right, as it should. Yes, that is the one that protects you from the animal in the wild, but it also protects you from things that are not in the wild, okay? But oftentimes we have our cortisol levels chronically high because we are chronically stressed. And that leads to guess what? Chronic hormonal imbalance. Yes. So it all matters, okay? So cortisol helps to support your stress response, but in a healthy way if you have good cholesterol balance, because it also supports your energy, of course, your immune function. So healthy cholesterol levels is what you need to keep your hormones in balance, all right? So whenever someone comes to me with hormonal imbalance, the first thing we go after is correcting your liver health and the foundation that needs to be taken care of in order to do that. And I'm going to teach you how to do that tonight too. So now, very specifically, a good transition, right? Cholesterol and detox. What does that mean and how does that go together? All right, you need to cleanse, support, and restore so that you can feel the difference. All right, so if you detox today, every day, you can protect tomorrow. How do we do that? Okay, you need to support bowel production. So everybody says you need your gallbladder and your liver working together. All right. Guess where bile comes from? Your gallbladder. Okay. A lot of people don't have their gallbladder anymore. It's big business to get gallbladders removed, right? But guess what? When they have to have their gallbladders removed, it's because of cholesterol being solidified in their gallbladder, right? And it's no longer able to actually go through the bile ducts. Well, that bile actually helps you break down your fats. And that fat is, guess what? Cholesterol. So when you don't have bile, that's when the fat builds up, cholesterol globules build up, and then you get your gallbladder removed because you had a bile issue. Okay. It can help you fix that and you keep your gallbladder because you need your gallbladder in order to absorb fats. So anytime you have a steak, right? Anytime you have an egg, anytime you have any of your fat soluble vitamins, right? A, D, K, you need fat for that. Okay, so you can't walk around on a low fat diet and you're going to be healthy. That does not work that way. All right, so you need bile for that, and that helps you support your body's natural detox process. Good bile production helps to support good gallbladder function, good liver function, and guess what? So that means you have good cholesterol balance. All right. Also, it helps remove toxins. So, in order to support your liver's ability to do that, we have to do what? Go to the bathroom. How many times a day? Drop it in the chat. Y'all should know. I scream it from the mountaintops all the time. How many times a day should we be having bowel movements? Three, three. Somebody said three. Yes, three. Three times every single day. Not once a week, not every 2 days. Yes, three times a day, every single day. If you are not doing that, I'm here to help you do that because if you're not removing toxicity from your system. Your colon is backed up, and that does what? Backs up your liver, and that creates hormonal imbalance because now your cholesterol is imbalanced, okay? So it's super important to remove toxicity from the bottom of the funnel. Bottom of the funnel is you going to the bathroom 3 times a day to cleanse your colon because that's what helps to cleanse your liver, and that's what helps the cholesterol get your cholesterol in check. Okay. No pill is going to do that. Pills are not going to do that. All right. So supporting digestion, promoting smoother digestion, and helping your body absorb nutrients more effectively. So when I say that, I'm talking about those of you who may or may know someone as well who has acid reflux, indigestion, silent GERD, right? Bloating, flatulence, you pass gas and clear a room. Okay. That is fermentation happening in your gut. It's not where it's supposed to happen. All right. So you need to have strong, smooth digestion so that you can remove toxicity from the system, all right? Because a cleaner system means a healthier person, okay? Because everything above in the funnel is also healthy. So detox supports balance to keep your body in balance, all right? You need to detox to keep things in balance. And that's a daily process that your body is designed to do naturally, all right? Naturally, all by itself. So now, specifically, let's talk about why your cholesterol went up in the first place. It's not just about what you eat, because remember, I mentioned, where do we make cholesterol? In our liver. God gave us cholesterol. 80% of cholesterol that shows up comes from you. Your liver made it. Okay. The other 20% comes from the foods you eat. So if they tell you, for example, to stop eating red meat because it has high cholesterol, but only 20% of the cholesterol in your blood work came from your food, does it really matter if you ate the steak for dinner? Nope. I eat steak every day. I have amazing cholesterol numbers because my liver is healthy because I go to the bathroom 3 times a day, right? These are all the things that matter. So why your levels specifically are going up for different reasons. Number one being inflammation. Excuse me. Chronic inflammation, okay? That can trigger higher levels and increase your risk over time. Let me tell you why, okay? A lot of people are walking around with silent infections. And some of them are not so silent either, right? You have knee pain, you have back pain, you have, chronic headaches and migraines and all these different things, okay? That's inflammation. That's not silent at all. You know you have knee pain. You know your back hurts every morning when you wake up. That's inflammation. Where there's pain, there's inflammation. That's fire in the body. Okay. That's your body's asking for attention in those locations. Okay. But over time, chronic inflammation triggers high cholesterol because cholesterol is the band-aid that comes to help your body put out the fire. So, for example, if you have a tear in your artery, okay, and people will have plaquing of the arteries. That plaque is cholesterol because guess what? Cholesterol came to bandage the breaking in your arteries. Okay. So what you fix is what caused the breakage, not the cholesterol. The processed foods you eat is what caused the breakage. All the sugars you eat is what caused the breakage. Okay. Cholesterol came to save your life. To continue the process, cholesterol will continue to come to try to save your life because that's what God designed it to do. So if you remove the root cause of the inflammation, right, you stop building up cholesterol in the arteries. That's one reason. Two, insulin resistance. When your cells don't respond well to insulin, it can lead to higher levels and metabolic strain. So what does that mean? Again, too much sugar. Most people that have diabetes also have high cholesterol, right? They're linked because your cells literally can't respond anymore to the insulin that's trying to bring down your sugar levels. Okay. So then that puts more stress on your body, including your liver, right? All of these are metabolically driven. So when things go up and your body's trying to help you once again, right, put out the fire, bring down the sugar, your body responds in a way that's designed to protect you. And that's why cholesterol will go up. Okay, that's two. Three, gut issues. An imbalanced gut can affect digestion, absorption, and how your body processes nutrients. So remember, I said we're going to the bathroom 3 times a day. Okay. If you're not, you have an imbalanced gut. I'm here to tell you that. All right. So when that happens, you don't have good digestive function because what you're eating, you have to be able to break it down, number one. Okay. You have to be able to absorb what you're eating so that you can get the nutrition from it. Okay. So when I eat a steak, for example, okay, I'm able to digest it, number one, break it down and absorb all of my vitamins from it. I'm able to get my protein, my iron, right, all my B vitamins, even my calcium is in steak. Okay. All of these different vitamins and minerals are in my steak, but I have to be able to digest it, one, and absorb the nutrition in it so I can actually process it. And my body can utilize and put it where it needs to go. So if you don't have a good, healthy, strong gut, you can't do those things. So you do have issues with red meat right? And it'll sit there for 3 days. So you stay away from it because it doesn't do well in your body, right? A lot of people will say, I can't eat red meat. I just can't digest it. I can't break it down, right? That's not a red meat issue. That's a gut issue. That's your gut saying, I do not have enough function to break down what you're giving me. Okay. So even nutrient-rich foods that you really need, you can't break it down and assimilate it properly enough to actually get the nutrition from it. So we have to fix the gut issue. Okay. And then fourth, nutrient gaps. This is my favorite one here because we can fix all of these, okay? But nutrient gaps are so simple to fix. If you just do the right things, okay? Missing key nutrients can impact so many different things in your body, okay? Metabolism, detox pathways, hormone imbalance. You can literally shave 10 years off of your life by being nutrient depleted, okay? If you just take the right vitamins, that your body's actually utilizing in the right way, you can add 10 years to your life. Okay. Super important. There's common nutrient deficiencies that people have that can cause cholesterol to rise. Yes. So if you just simply took your vitamins, right, cholesterol will balance out. Magnesium being one, all right, that supports cholesterol balance because it helps to give you healthy blood vessel function. All right. Omega-3 fatty acids helps to do what? Bring down inflammation, okay, which then supports healthy cholesterol levels. Zinc is super essential for men and women especially, all right? This is essential for metabolism. But also, more importantly, zinc is something that you cannot store in your body, okay? So if you're not eating foods that have zinc in them daily and actually breaking it down, digesting it, absorbing it, okay, you're not going to hold on to zinc. It only stays in your body 24 hours. If you're not eating foods and digesting it properly or supplementing with the right vitamins, you're going to be zinc deficient. Anyone that had COVID had a zinc deficiency. Surprise, surprise, okay? Vitamin D, low levels of vitamin D guarantees high cholesterol and also brings up your heart risk too because of other factors as well, okay? Most people are vitamin D deficient because nobody goes outside. Go outside, number one, but also eat the right nutrient-rich foods and then supplement too, okay? B12, super important. This is for red blood cell production and heart health overall. Okay. Then folate. Folate helps to break down homocysteine. So this is actually something that goes up in the body and people have certain diet patterns, okay? And that affects their cholesterol. But also it's because it impacts your detox pathways and you can't remove the excess bad cholesterol, okay? That's why it's important to make sure you're taking the right vitamins. Because like I said, your body is always talking to you. So you have to just understand if your levels are going up, you need to figure out why. Not just say, oh, well, now I have high cholesterol or it runs in my family, because guess what? It does not run in your family, okay? You have to figure out what the underlying imbalance is so we can get to the root cause and bring your levels down naturally. Okay. So now this is my favorite part here because I actually did a vitamin panel for myself to share with you. So this is one of the things that I do with my clients who needed and requested, I should say. So I do what's called biofeedback. Okay. So what you see here on the screen, this is one of like 81 different panels that I do where I actually scan an individual person and I can see what their nutrition status is. You don't have to be in the room with me at all. You can be in Texas, you can be in Canada for all I care. This is something that I can do no matter your location, but I can tell you what your nutrition status is, okay? See what your body's actually telling you, see what you're deficient in, see what your body's struggling with, what it's stressed about, what it's low in, what it's high in, all these different things, right? Because knowledge is power. So these are the things that if you have once or twice before, your doctor may have actually figured out what you were deficient in. If you had a great doctor, right, they can figure these things out and say, well, you should be taking a quality vitamin. Most of them don't do that, but I check your nutrition status. Most of my clients are on the right vitamins already. So we don't have these issues, okay? That's a requirement for me because I know how important it is to make sure you're taking the right vitamins, but also to make sure that they're working in your body, okay? So very importantly here, I want to share with you. So you can see this first panel here, it says minerals and fats. The second one is amino acids. So these are proteins, okay? And then the third section here is vitamins. because I'm going to talk about CoQ10 here in a minute, right? And that's something that is super important when you have high cholesterol because it impacts so many different things. But what this shows you is that I'm pretty balanced, okay? It shows you that my mineral status is great, my amino acids are great, my vitamin status is great, and I can show you if I have a brave soul on here, let's see, I've got a number of people. I've got 22 people on here. If there's a brave soul, you don't have to be brave, just want information. But anybody who does want to volunteer, I can run your nutrition panel for you tonight. So we can, and you can share with everyone on here to see, like, if you've been taking vitamins already,
Yeah, I
how
will
is it
volunteer.
working? Okay, if whoever my volunteer is, drop your name and your email address and your physical address in the chat. Your name, email, phone number, and physical address in the chat. Okay, and we're gonna do a real data vitamin panel so we can see what your nutrition status looks like. Okay, so we can get some insight into what's going on. All right, it's really awesome. This is something that I love doing. So now medications. So they do have a place when medically necessary, but they don't always address the root causes, lifestyle issues, and definitely not nutrient depletion. Okay. Because what happens is medications may actually lower numbers, but they don't fix why your cholesterol is high in the first place, right? So whenever you do have issues, like I said, from inflammation, gut health, hormonal imbalance, insulin resistance, or just toxic buildup, because your liver is congested, okay? So when you have a really, not just a stressful lifestyle, but a really toxic lifestyle, okay? So if you're not doing non-toxic products, non-toxic foods, non-toxic cleaning things, all these different things that impact your toxicity levels, right? Your liver has to detox that stuff. If your liver gets congested with toxins that are environmentally induced, you put them in yourself. Okay. These are things we can avoid, right? So if you're using, for example, products that have aluminum in it for deodorant, or fluoride in your toothpaste, right? Or parabens and phthalates on your body wash, and all these different things that literally are impacting your liver, that is directly impacting your cholesterol levels because it is congesting your liver, where your liver's trying to work on keeping you alive and healthy, right? By giving you healthy cholesterol. It can't do that 100% if it's trying to also fight off toxicity every day, all day, right? So this is why detox is important as well. And then lifestyle. Pills can't replace the impact of your daily habits, right? I had a client that was on 27 pills, all medications. Tell me how they're supposed to have a quality life like that. Okay. Your day literally is surrounded by you checking the clock to see what time it is to take your next pill. You can't live like that. All right. Pills don't replace your daily habits. So what they do, unfortunately, okay, your nutritious whole foods matter. Regular movement matters, right? Quality sleep, go to bed at night. It matters. Managing stress levels, right? Learning how to say no. Yes, learn how to say no, no matter how old you are. It's not too late. Say no sometimes, all right? And of course, limiting alcohol and smoking. Those sometimes seem obvious, but may not be all the time, right? So I still put it in there. And then correct the deficiencies. I talked about this, right? This is super important here because medications are catch 22, right? Because you are already nutrient deficient when you have high cholesterol. But guess what your medications do? They also impact your nutrients too. Okay, so they deplete you of nutrients that you need to keep you with having healthy cholesterol levels. CoQ10, magnesium, B vitamins, vitamin D, omega 3s, right? So make that make sense to me. Okay, if you're already deficient going in and now you're taking something that's going to make you more deficient, you're literally just 100% addressing the symptom for the rest of your life. Okay, because that's what's going to happen if you don't correct the actual root causes. Okay, because true heart health starts with addressing the root, not just managing the numbers, but understanding what's happening in your body. Okay, so now, very specifically, because this is something I'm always asked about. All right, statin medications. Yes. Are you on a statin medication? Because if you have high cholesterol, this is something your doctor has thrown out there, has mentioned, has prescribed you one, two, three times. You might be on three different types of statins. There's so many different ones out there, okay, but I'm gonna tell you what happens. All right. So before you ignore the side effects, I want you to understand what statins may be doing to your body naturally. Okay. So it is true, statins will lower your cholesterol, but I'm gonna tell you what happens in the process. Okay. So number one, and some of you had to get off statins because of some of these side effects. Okay. Your doctor had to figure something else out. Okay, but side effects, number one, muscle pain, weakness, fatigue, low energy, joint pain, digestive issues, sleep disturbances, memory problems. Okay, I'm gonna get really specific on that one here in a minute. These are some of the side effects that come along with taking a statin drug. All right. Number two, impacts on the body, liver stress and damage, the organ that actually makes your cholesterol, right? We're now stressing it out and damaging it further. Okay. CoQ10 depletion. Now, I'm going to explain to you what CoQ10 is. CoQ10 is the energy that your heart makes. Yes, it is required. Okay. As we get older, your heart makes less CoQ10. So it's super important to make sure you're protecting your CoQ10 levels. All right. Statins deplete you of CoQ10. So it is not a matter of if, but when your heart will begin to fail because you're literally depleting your heart's energy. Okay. I'll make sure I'm clear on it. Not to frighten you, but to make sure you understand. CoQ10 depletes your heart of its energy. I have I've actually lost count how many clients I have had that have been on long-term statins and now have heart failure. And now they've come to me trying to figure out because it comes out of nowhere, but it does not come out of nowhere. I'm gonna tell you that, okay? Your body's been silently talking to you all these years. Okay, hormone disruption is another, right? So the one thing that's trying to balance your hormones, now we've artificially depleted you and artificially lowered your cholesterol, right? So now you've disrupted your hormones even further. Blood sugar imbalance, right? That's also one of the causes, remember? Now you've imbalanced your blood sugars even further. And immune system suppression. So the more pills you take, the easier it is for you to get sick. Have you noticed that? Right? That includes statins. So statins interfere with really essential processes that your body needs. All right. And then, so 1 in 5 people experience side effects. That's a lot of people if you think about the numbers. All right. That's 2 in 10. But that's only the ones who actually realize it's coming from their statin drug. The others, they just look at their numbers and they just keep going on for life. Then there's the heart impacts, right? So I talked about your actual liver and you're making cholesterol, right? Your heart's energy, right? So because you're being depleted of CoQ10, as I've already said, it increases your risk of not just heart failure, but also diabetes because it does what? Dysregulates your blood sugar. So these are side effects and other outcomes that happen because you're trying to lower your cholesterol, but now you put yourself at risk for heart disease, sorry, heart failure and diabetes. Okay. Increases inflammation, doesn't address the root cause, like I mentioned, right? And also HDL. So HDL is your what's considered your good cholesterol, okay? LDL is considered the bad cholesterol. There really is no bad cholesterol, okay? That's a different topic. But HDL is the one you want to make sure you do keep high, all right? But what statins do is actually lower the good one. But when you're trying to keep up, it lowers that one, okay? So in your total count, you actually look at your your labs and your TC, your total cholesterol, they want you to have it 200 or less, right? But of that number includes your HDL, your LDL, and your triglycerides, right? So if your HDL, okay, is going down and LDL is up, you want it to flip. You want that to go up and your LDL to come down, but your numbers are still high, right? What you want to look at is the breakdown. And that maybe not be something your doctor's explaining to you, right? There's different types of cholesterol. And then four, brain impacts, because what? It's made of cholesterol. If I could shout this from the mountaintops, I would. Your brain is made of cholesterol. It is essential for brain function, all right? So it may increase the risk of what? Brain fog, confusion, memory loss. What does that sound like? Cognitive decline, dementia, Alzheimer's, right? Because we're literally killing brain cells without cholesterol. You need cholesterol for healthy brain function. Do not go on the low fat diet. You need the fat, okay? Please hear me. You need the fat. Your brain needs the fat. Okay, your grandparents need the fat. Let them eat their fat. Give them the steak for their birthday, okay? Yes, it's linked to depression, cognitive decline. These are things that your brain needs. Your brain needs cholesterol to build hormones, to protect neurons, and to heal. Okay. I had a client that had a stroke, put her on the right vitamins and a carnivore diet, all meat, specifically red meat, so we could heal her brain. Yes, that's what you need, cholesterol. Okay. I know I'll beat that horse to death, but I want you to understand that you need cholesterol for brain function. Okay. Now, what if you could get the party started by resetting your body in 72 hours? How can we do that, Dr. Green? All right, I'm glad you asked. In 3 days, we're going to jumpstart the process. All right. There's six benefits. There's lots of others as well. All right. But we want to start the process off because I want you to see how well your body will respond, but also how much it's needed. Okay. Number one, of course, detox and cleanse. We want to flush out the toxicity, reduce the bloating, support your gut health. Okay. These are the things that are going to get you going to what? The bathroom. Yes. Replenish and nourish. Replenish essential nutrients. Restore balance at the cellular level. Get you taking the right vitamins. Okay. Boost energy. Experience more natural energy and mental clarity. Okay. Jumpstart your weight loss. So we can't get you healthy, right, if we don't kickstart your metabolism by supporting a healthy foundation, right? So I will often hear, I want to lose some weight. Well, I want you to get healthy. Weight loss is a byproduct of you getting healthy. Okay, so when we do steps one, two, three here, four comes. The weight just comes off when we do one, two, and three. Okay. And then, of course, then you strengthen immunity as well. Because now your body's not fighting so many different things at the same time. It can focus on keeping you healthy. Your immune function goes through the roof. Because guess what? 80% of your immune function is where? In your gut. So having a healthy gut is kind of important, right? And then reset, renew, feel lighter, clearer, and more like your best self, right? You can actually think now without the brain fog, right? You can put some stuff on paper and actually implement the way you really want to without getting tired and fatigued and all the things that might be happening now, right? Because our bodies are made to heal, right? But we have to give it the right resources in order to do so. That's the key. Okay. You want to give it a chance. So how do we do that? Day one, nourish. Okay. And this is just like I said, this is a simple 3 day system to jump start. This does not mean you're going to be healed and fixed in 3 days, right? If you did my 3 day fast with me, you might be even further along, right? But right now, we're going to focus on just resetting your body, and that only takes 3 days, okay? So we're going to jumpstart things. Day one, nourish, restore what's missing, giving your body what it's missing by doing what did I say already? Replenish those nutrient gaps. We need to correct those because your body needs the energy to support your mitochondria. Then that's literally your DNA. That's the foundation of everything your body is needed to support itself. Okay. Stabilizing your blood sugars and your hormones, right? You need nourishment for that, the right nutrition. And then day two, eliminating, opening up those detox pathways. Now your body can finally let go, literally, because the gut starts moving. And when the gut moves, right, the poop is gone. Now your liver can flow, your bile can flow. And guess what? Now your cholesterol can flow. Yes. And then the toxins begin to mobilize as well. So I will tell you this, once you start this process, is that sometimes it's off, some people get scared about it because your cholesterol numbers will go up. when you start this process. But the reason for that is you have cholesterol stored in your tissues everywhere. So once your liver has become congested to the point where cholesterol is in your bloodstream and your blood has gone up, your actual numbers have gone up in your labs, right? That means you have free floating cholesterol in your bloodstream. And where does it belong? It belongs in your liver so it can feed your brain, right? So once it's now no longer in your liver, it's free floating in your bloodstream. Now it travels throughout your tissues. Yes. Okay. Doesn't go where it's supposed to go, but it travels. So what happens though is that free floating cholesterol now needs to be removed. So as we start mobilizing things and getting it out of your system, right? The numbers may temporarily go up because your body's now moving the cholesterol more efficiently so we can get it out. So what does that mean? That means don't stop the process. That means you keep going, okay? Keep going because your body finally is now doing is what it's supposed to do, right? And then day three, hydrate and move, flush and circulate. Now we're going to get everything out, right? Your lymphatic flow starts to increase because you've moved your colon, you moved your liver, your kidneys are moving better, right? And upstream of that is your lymphatic system. Things are hydrating better now because things aren't bound up in your body and the waste can actually exit the body. So you'll start feeling the shift in as little as 3 days. All right. So this is the reset that I'm talking about. You will feel a shift in 3 days. All right. Day one, how do we turn the system on? The nourishment I'm talking about, replenish those nutrient gaps, support your mitochondria, stabilize your blood sugar and hormones. All right. These are the things that we need to do because we cannot detox a depleted body. Right. This is something that people will often do. They'll go off and do a detox and they make themselves sicker because they were already depleted. You can't do that. It doesn't work that way. So you have to build up the body first, right? You have to nourish the system. So you have enough mitochondrial function to actually do a detox, okay? And when I say detox, I'm talking about just literally cleansing your body of the excess cholesterol that doesn't belong in your tissues, right? And so we can put it back where it belongs in your liver so we can feed your brain again, right? It's a process. So, number one, taking the right vitamins, okay? And I don't mean once a week. I mean being consistent with your vitamins, okay? That's the first step. Second step, opening up the pathways because we need to get you going to the bathroom 3 times a day. If you're going once now, that's good. I want you to get to great. Okay. That's 3 times. So, how many times a day you go to the bathroom is way more important than what you put in your mouth. I'm going to repeat that for you. How many times you go to the bathroom is way more important than what you put in your mouth. Because if you're removing toxicity, right, your body is nourished, right, based on what you already have in your system. Your body literally can eat its own fat. It can literally eat its own fat. You don't have to eat anything for your body to have nourishment. Okay. But if you're not pooping, guess what it's eating? Your poop. Yes, it gets recirculated right back into your system. And that's toxic. Okay. You don't want that. So you want it to move out. When you first wake up in the morning, if you've detoxed appropriately and slept successfully overnight, your very first bowel movement should be when you first wake up in the morning. Yes, when you first wake up within 30 minutes of waking. Without your morning coffee, right? There shouldn't be any stimulation needed. It's supposed to work all on its own. Your second and third should be 30 minutes to an hour max after lunch and dinner. Okay. That means you were able to successfully break down your foods, absorb the nutrition from it, and then move out the waste. Okay. That is what's supposed to happen naturally. And if not, if you have any type of, like I said, reflux, indigestion, right? You have low stomach acid. We need to get you going with digestive enzymes. Okay. That is how you get your food broken down appropriately. We make these enzymes naturally. But again, as we get older, we make less of them based on our lifestyle. If we've eaten a lot of processed foods, right, lots of sugars, we kill off these enzymes. So you can replace them though by taking digestive enzymes. And these are all natural things, right? Bromelain, for example, is in pineapple. Papaya has papain, okay? These are all enzymes, but they also have a lot of sugar in those fruits that I just mentioned. So that's a catch 22. You want to have the enzyme that you can produce naturally without the excess sugar. Okay. So that's why when I eat my steak, for example, I take digestive enzymes. I don't have gut issues, but I want to keep it that way. I'm 40, how old am I? 46. I want to be 86, right? Still with amazing gut function. Yes. So I take enzymes with my food. I don't eat a meal. I only eat twice a day, but I take enzymes with my meals. Okay. So I can break down my foods efficiently, get the nutrition from it, absorb what I'm getting in, right? Because that's how important it is to make sure that your body's getting what you need to get from your food. Otherwise, you're just eating for no reason. You should be eating for nutrition, not just because something tastes good, right? That's your body eats for substance. So that's what you need for improving gut function. Enzymes, probiotics, okay? Because if you have gut imbalance, you need all three of these things actually. You need fiber, but I'm not talking about a Miralax or a Benefiber or, all these other bulk fibers. All they do is remove the water from your system, push it to your colon, and force you to go to the bathroom. And what does that do? That dehydrates you. Okay, so you don't want that. You want a fiber that is a prebiotic fiber that's going to actually add nourishment to your gut and feed your gut microbiome. So the one that I specifically use and recommend, that's what it does. It has 9 different types of prebiotic fiber in it. So it can feed your gut microbiome and add life, add health, add the things that you need to shift your gut microbiome to having more good guys than bad guys. And then a probiotic too, because that's going to add additional good guys too. Most probiotics in the stores, I will tell you, do not work. Yeah, because they don't make it through your stomach acid. So this one here makes it through your stomach acid, so it actually can get to its intended target and add additional good gut bacteria. Okay, because you want to make sure that you're shifting it so you have more good guys than bad guys. That is how you get going to go to the bathroom. So rebalance your gut, and that's what allows your liver to flow more efficiently, right? So we can support healthy liver function, so you can have healthy cholesterol function. Okay, cholesterol levels get the toxicity out. Because most people don't have a detox problem, right? They just have a drainage problem. This is why you want to open your drainage pathways. This is why you never want to just start taking stuff without opening up your drainage pathways. Otherwise, you're taking stuff that just gets stuck in the system, doesn't have anywhere to go. All right. And then day 3, hydrating and moving, flushing and circulating. Okay. Out of the system. So what happens? Now we're at where lymphatic flow increases, okay? Because now your body's moving again. Your colon's moving, your liver's moving. So now your lymphatic system can flush things out that's been in there for years. Okay, but it's super important to do that so you can flush out toxins that have been stuck. If you ever had a swollen lymph node, for example, okay, that's from your body being backed up. If you ever have a swollen lymph node, that's from it's trapping toxicity in those lymph nodes because you weren't able to move it out via your colon, your liver, or your kidneys. So now your lymphatic system has to jump in. Oh, you have an infection over here. You couldn't get it out. Let me trap it for you. That's what swollen lymph nodes are. Okay. Again, your body talking to you. So cellular hydration doesn't happen with just empty water. Okay. So I drink, for example, distilled water, but I add replenishment to my water. I nourish my water, okay? I have the purest water that there is, but I add nourishment back to my water because water is one of the fastest way to kill a population. And unfortunately, our water is very toxic now. Okay, so you have to make sure that you're putting the right type of water in. And when you hydrate your water properly with electrolytes, to be very specific, okay, that will help to pull things out of your lymphatic system. Okay, so don't just drink empty water. Okay, if you drink filtered water, that's fine. Still add in electrolytes to it. Don't ever drink tap water. That's way more toxicity than you need in your system. Okay, don't ever do that. If you're drinking plastic bottled water, don't do that. All right, that's full of, guess what, microplastics. You're drinking plastic. Okay, and that's the worst thing. Even if it says non-BPA, it doesn't matter. You're still drinking plastic. Okay, which guess what? It embeds itself in your tissue. So you don't want that. All right. So you want waste to actually exit the body, but you need proper hydration, proper movement to support your regular elimination. So going to the bathroom, right? You need hydration for that. You need not empty water. You need nourished water for that, okay? Because detox only works if the toxins actually leave the body. Yes, yes, yes. So now all this helps with right weight loss, of course, energy, bloating, hormones, just that off feeling, like when you go to the doctor and you're like, something's wrong, I can't put my finger on it. And they come back and say, what? Everything looks normal. Nothing's wrong with you. And you go back home with a sinking feeling in your stomach because you know something's off, right? But again, that's your body talking to you. Trust it. That is the Holy Spirit talking to you, telling you something is wrong. Trust it every time, okay? So you don't need a complicated plan, right? What you do need is something simple, strategic, and designed to support your body the right way, right? Just the right support. That's what I'm here to help you with. Your body wasn't built to do this alone, right? The right support does make all the difference. Somebody that's going to be in your corner, but also doing it in the right order. So remember, I said we cannot do it without nourishment. So number one, taking the right vitamins. Number two, getting to the bathroom. You need foundation, you need movement, right? To get the detox out, to get the excess cholesterol out, to get your liver cleansed, right? So we have to do these things in the right order. There's a process, okay? But I try to make it simple so you understand it, first of all, but also so you can implement it simply as well, okay? Because I want you to have results, not just staying on medication for the rest of your life, because that's not going to work. Okay, that's not adding years. That's depleting you and actually subtracting. Okay, we want real transformation. So now, in closing, I'm getting there. Option one, these are the real benefits, the real things I want you to implement as soon as tonight. All right. So if you know good and well you have high cholesterol and you know you're on a statin, right? These are for you. Option one. And guess what? Even if it's you're not on a statin or you don't have high cholesterol and you want to keep it that way, it's still for you. All right. Because I don't have any issues. Guess what? I want to keep it that way. Because let me make sure I say this. Anything that's happening in your body right now, anything that's showing up on your lab work right now, right? Things take 7 to 10 years to manifest in the body. Once it shows up on your labs, that wasn't overnight. That took 7 to 10 years of your body talking to you. And I'm gonna say that again. It took 7 to 10 years of your body talking to you, but you not listening or not knowing what to do about it. You have options tonight. You know what to do now. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. Okay. If you are on a medication, if you're not on a medication, if you want to keep it that way, if somebody ever told you it runs in your family and you about to rebuke that in the name of Jesus, okay, we're gonna fix all that. Option one, no statins. If you are not on the statin, this is your simple starting point. Very simple. Support your body the right way, okay, with the Peak Performance Complete Gut Health Bundle. What is this? This is the Nourish step. So this is your foundation, which is the correct vitamin pack. Eliminate, this is the gut health bundle as well, included in here. And it also is going to have hydration because it has electrolytes already in the vitamins as well. Okay. This is so simple, super, super simple. I don't want you to start simple. Okay. Stay consistent and you will see results. All right. Most people will feel a difference in the first 7 to 14 days. So remember, I gave you the 3 days. You'll start feeling the shift in as little as 3 days. And then I want you to keep going. That's the key. Everything works in consistency. All right. I want you to start. Get started is the hard part, right? Get started. You feel the shift in 3 days and then keep going. It takes 90 days for your blood to completely cycle over. So remember when your doctor said, come back in 3 months for more blood work. But he didn't tell you why, right? He just wants to see more labs. Well, that's why. But because he wants to see or she wants to see how your prescription medications are treating your liver, your kidneys, right? He wants to see what the impacts are from the prescription medications. So he knows if he needs to switch you, reduce it, or we can increase it. Oh, she's handling that pretty well. We can go up on that dose, right? No, what I want to do in 90 days is I want to nourish you. Okay, that takes 90 days to nourish the blood 100% with now brand new sets of nutrients that you might not have had before. Okay, but whatever those issues were, remember inflammation, insulin resistance, right? The things that are causing your high cholesterol now, nutrient depletion, right? Even if you're on the borderline, okay, we want to make sure we bring that down, reduce those things, reverse the process that may have already begun, okay, if it hasn't already, but we're going to reverse those things. So option one, if you're on no statin, this is the peak performance complete gut health bundle, all right? Simple starting point, simple. Now, if you are on a statin, this is still option one because I have a different option here in a minute. It's just a different vitamin pack. If you are on a statin, I'm gonna tell you why. Because so remember I said everybody should know now what statins do to the body, okay? They deplete you of nutrients for your heart and your muscles that you need to function. Your heart is a muscle. You are being depleted of CoQ10, among other things, okay? But very specifically for your heart health, muscle function, and long-term longevity while you're on the statin, because our goal is to get you off, right? But while you're on it, and for the duration of that time, I want to make sure that you're supporting your body by nourishing. Okay, we want to support your heart first and foremost, CoQ10. Okay, this bundle here, the Peak Performance Heart Health Bundle, okay, different from the other one. This one has additional support for your heart. It has the CoQ10 for heart energy and protecting your mitochondrial cells as well. Okay, it also has Phyto Omega, which supports healthy cholesterol and inflammation balance as well. And then it also has D3 and K2, which supports your heart, your arteries, and bone strength. Oftentimes, like I mentioned, when people have high cholesterol or diabetes or a bunch of other things, oftentimes now they will just prescribe high dose vitamin D. And that's not good for you either because they're giving you vitamin D without vitamin K, and they are cofactors. So when they do that and you're taking vitamin D without K, all the calcium that's in your bloodstream is being directed to your soft tissues. What does that mean? So now you have calcification in your joints, which is your soft tissues. So you end up with arthritis of the knees, the ankles, the back, the shoulders, any joint, pick one, right? Also, calcification of the arteries. So it's not just cholesterol plaque in your arteries, okay? It's also from you actually inducing it yourself environmentally by shuttling calcium to your arteries. That's what happens when you take vitamin D without K, calcification of the arteries. Okay, super important. So that's why if you are on a statin, this is the pack that I recommend for you, the full bundle. It has the vitamins for your nutritional foundation, but it also has the fiber and the 405 for your gut health as well. Okay, because I want you to have long-lasting results, right? But right with the right support, the right nutrients, and this would be the right starting point for you if you are on a statin. Okay, now I will tell you, I'm not on a statin. I take CoQ10. I take the Total Health Pack. There's a different pack that I take that has everything in it, way more than this. Okay, but these are definitely my minimum recommendations if you are not on a statin. Okay, and then option two, if you don't want to start with the foundation, but you want to just see where you are, if you want to actually just do a nutrient scan, all right, you can get personalized support with me. You can scan the QR code right there. This is for today only. This is something I do with my clients only. This is $100 value, all right? So when I do this for my clients, it's $100. But for whoever is on here tonight, of the 21 people left on here, if you do want to just get a nutrient scan done, you can scan that QR code while I have it up here right now. Grab your phone, pull out your camera, scan the QR code, and that will bring you to my schedule. Okay, you can grab a slot that works just for you. It's only open next week, tomorrow and next week. Okay. But it's $50 today only. All right. But it will show you, I will do a scan just for you to show you your vitamin status. Yes. I'll show you your amino acids. I'll show you your minerals as well. It's just one snapshot, but I'll show you all three of those panels that I had up earlier. So you can see where you are without any labs, without any blood work, right? Without any pricks to the fingers, anything like that. So it takes out the guesswork for you. So you don't have to see, you can see exactly where you are, right? And I can personalize some things for you if you want to do it after that. All right. So now, starting your 72-hour resets a day, start with the foundation. Right, that's option one. Like I mentioned, I'll guide you tonight. If you are interested in option one, if you want to make sure that you get the Peak Performance Complete Gut Health Bundle or the Heart Health Bundle as well, right? One or the other. Those were both option one. If that is you, go ahead and drop your name, email, and phone number in the chat. Okay. And we'll get you started tonight. Option two is if you want to just do the personalized scan, like I just mentioned, all right? That's the same QR code there. You can scan that, book it, and get you started so you can actually see where you are with your nutrition status, all right? Because your body deserves health, all right? And I'm here to help you with that, support that as well. So if you want to grab that QR code, do that. And if you want to start with the foundation, option one, go ahead and drop your name, email, phone number in the chat, all right? And then last slide. All right. So this is again tonight only. This is for anyone who does start with the foundation, option one. If you know you want to start with option one, anybody who does that tonight, I will give you a free nutrient scan. All right. Again, $100 value, but that's exclusive only for those of you who are on tonight. Not no one who's catching the recording gets this option. All right. I'm gonna have the scan, the QR code to be closed after tonight. So if you want this option, um, make sure you do the option one tonight, drop your info in there, and you will get a free nutrient scan if you do decide to do option one tonight. All right. So you don't have to again not guess, but we'll test, we target, and we transform. You can actually see where your gaps are, okay, and get clarity on what you think you might be low in, like especially if you're taking something. Like some people are taking vitamins that are simply not working because there's so many out there, and I will tell you most of them don't work. Number one, they're not designed for absorption. Okay, but number two, they're also artificial. Most vitamins are not methylated. And what does that mean? That means your liver cannot detoxify them. So what that does is it causes congestion in your liver. So there are people that are taking vitamins because we know we should be taking a vitamin, right? But instead of it helping you and making you feel better, it's actually making you more sick because it's causing liver congestion when you take vitamins that are not methylated. Most people cannot methylate folic acid, for example, cyanocobalamin, which is artificial B12, right? These are things that your body cannot break down. So you want to make sure you're taking the right vitamins, okay? So your nutrient scan that I do for you, if you do pick option one and you get the free one, I will show you you can see where your body stands right now on where your gaps are, so you can have that clarity and see, where you want to get started. All right. And again, that's only available for tonight. All right. So now I will stop the recording. Thank everyone on the recording and checking it out, but I'm going to stop the recording for questions because y'all know I love to answer questions. But thank you all for joining me tonight.